saying now is not something that I created. If you read the life of Muhammad, you will read all that. You will read all of that. I'm just quoting. All I'm doing is just connecting the dots in an analytical way. That's all. And that is why Muslims today have a very hard time reconciling, because to reconcile with the Jews means they have to admit that Islam was wrong. It's an existential problem. And that's why when Muhammad died, his followers did what he commanded. They went and conquered Egypt, conquered Persia at the same year. And then they went to Jerusalem, where the Jews are, and said, okay, now this is ours. We're going to build a mosque right on top of your temple now. Because now our prophet doesn't want you to exist anymore. And this is the only way we can make your memory gone and make Islam's grave secret gone. It's almost by replacing you. The fact that they built a mosque on top of the ruins of the temple is a deep wish to replace the Jewish people. It's like somebody killing somebody and taking their identity. And nobody talks about that. No Arab or Muslim understand that. And I'm not a big psychiatrist. My IQ is probably average or a little above that. I'm not. Why did I find it so easy to analyze? I just put 1 and 1, 2 and 2, and just understood what I grew up with. And I read the history, the life story of Muhammad, the ending, and how after he died, they went to Jerusalem, chased them as he told them. And it's obvious. Nobody wants to face this reality. And even when Muhammad was doing after, there were verses in the Quran that reflected the agony he was in and the agony of the people who were doing the killing with him. He had many verses in the Quran telling them, don't feel guilty about killing. It's not your hands that is killing. It's the hands of Allah. Don't worry. You're going to be honored for killing them. You're going to go to heaven for killing them. The verse after verse after verse in the Quran comforting the Muslim warriors and the murderers, telling them that you will go to heaven if you kill the Jews and kill the infidels and kill the non-Muslims. Verses telling that it's not your hand that has the blood on it. This is Macbeth. If anybody... I don't understand. It's so simple. They felt very guilty, and many of them ran away. They didn't want to go because some of the Arabs who were encouraged by Muhammad to go kill the Jews in Medina were their friends. They lived and grew up with them. They knew them. They didn't want to go kill them. And Muhammad said, threatened them. He said, you're going to be tortured and killed. Allah is not going to love you anymore. You're going to be cursed. Verses after verses after verses in the Quran cursing Muslims who don't want to kill. And verses after verses after verses in the Quran telling those who kill you're going to go to heaven. The same way they told me after my father was killed that he was going to go to heaven. Glorifying killing became the only escape for Islam. And this is the tragedy we're living with for 1400 years. And that's why the number one enemy of Islam is the truth. Islam is a paper tiger. A lot of people think that they only have oil money. That's the only strength they have. And unfortunately, the West doesn't want to drill for oil because we care about the caribou. Well, Saudi Arabia has been drilling now for 100 years. Excuse me, and the lifespan of people in Saudi Arabia is the highest in its history. Excuse me, I don't see any camels dying in Saudi Arabia from the oil drilling. I see that their habitat and the Red Sea is gorgeous. They're having great vacation spots in the Gulf, and they're drilling like crazy. Do you think the same companies that are drilling there can drill here without killing the caribous? Why are we doing this to ourselves? Why are we giving them our dollars to come and kill us and to finance Osama bin Laden? Why? Conclude and then take your question. But before I conclude, it's time for America hands off saving Muslims from themselves. They go, Iraq takes over Kuwait. We go and kill our American young men to save Kuwait from fellow Muslim Iraq. Did they give us a good thank you? Do they appreciate us? No. We go to Europe to go to war against the Serbs with the Muslims. Did they love us? No. We go to Libya to save them from their oppressive dictator. We take him out. What do? They kill our ambassador and some American heroes. Do they say thank you to America? No. Stop it. Stop trying to rescue people who look down on you. And the more you rescue them, the more they hate you because they feel inferior. It's time for us to let them learn from their mistakes. When we keep rescuing from themselves, they end up hating us, not loving us, because they don't want to be they don't want to be rescued by people they call apes and pigs and enemies of Allah. It's tough on their pride, So try to understand that point. And we keep doing that every time. When African nations fight each other and kill each other, we don't go interfere. Why do we do it with the Arabs? Why? The oil is a joke. We can drill and have our oil for ourselves. We don't need it. And also it's a joke because whether it's Saddam Hussein who's ruling or the Saudi kingdom is ruling, or it doesn't matter. They're going to sell it to us anyway. What are they going to do with it? Drink it? So it's time to not be afraid of this tragedy, the Islamic tragedy against the Jewish people and the Christian people and the Western culture. Don't be afraid. What I'm telling you now is not to believe that you have this humongous, horrible attack. You are the strong side. What I want you to know, you have God on your side. And let me tell you, they are in pain. My heart bleeds every day when I see many, many Egyptians writing to me, save us. I want to get out of here. They are starting to realize something is wrong in their religion. There is a lot of people who are leaving Islam. Islam is rotting from the core, and that's why there is a lot of turmoil. Because they are not at peace with themselves. They are not at peace with them. Islam did not give them peace. And that's why we have to understand that we have the power. We have the truth on our side. I lost my family. My whole family. My mother is 92. She doesn't talk to me anymore. Why? Because I have a website called Arabs for Israel. See, this is painful for me, but the truth, thank you so much. The truth is more important for me. And I love them. I write to them and I say, I love you. But enough is enough. We have to stand up and say the truth. I want to see the Jewish people get offended. Please get offended when they say lies about you. I want a demonstration when they call you all these names. When they say, 9/11, the Jews did it. I will be heading the demonstration in front of the United Nations. Because you always take the higher road. Because you look at these accusations, it's a joke. And I know it's a joke. But the problem is, this is not a joke to 1.2 billion people. And those 1.2 billion people, if 15% of them support terrorism, we're in trouble. So don't underestimate the power of this slander and lies. And we have to start a movement against slandering and lying about the Jewish people. And I don't want to call it anti-Semitism anymore. I just want to call it slander and lies. And we have to start speaking against it. Speaking against a person like the president of Egypt who's insulting the Jew. This is ridiculous. A head of state should not lower himself to that level. And we should speak about it and get offended and say, ouch. You know why? Because there are some kids in France who will be killed tomorrow by a nutcase who believes these lies. And it's our duty to stand up with this. I don't have to be Jewish to stand for the truth about Israel, to stand for the truth about the Jewish people. I owe it to you to speak the truth because my culture of origin have committed slander and lies. And it's time to end it because it's not good for you. It's not good for them. And that's why we have to speak out. We have to make a big deal every time these lies happen. Arab terrorism is not just destroying or hurting Israel, hurting America, 9/11. It's destroying the moral fabric and goodness in Arab society. And it's time to speak about it. Open up. And I encourage all Arabs to start and speak because I know many of them. Many of them agree with me. Thank you very much. My brother in 1994-95, he was working as the consul of Egypt in Gaza. And what happened is he was 43 at that time. He collapsed and had a stroke. He had blood in his brain. He was unconscious. Everybody, all the Egyptians around him said, what do we do now? Do we take him to Cairo hospital or do we take him to Hadassah hospital in Israel? Do we take him to our own hospital, our own doctors that we trust, or do we take him to the hospitals of the apes and pigs and enemies of Allah? Each and every person around my brother said in the same time, you want him to live? Take him to Hadassah. In time of crisis, even Muslims know that they trust Jews. They call them names, but deep down inside, their humanity trusts them. They trust that they're going to do the right thing because they know that they're men and women of God. And that's why I want this story. When my brother went to Hadassah, he was unconscious for 3 months. My mom went there and his wife to see him. And my mom was calling me on the phone telling me, I can't believe the Jewish people are so kind. They are not the people that we're describing. And I told her it's true. And it's time to end this hateful propaganda, but they can't because it's written in the Quran. And my brother is alive today because of Hadassah. He was supposed to die and they saved his life. A lot of Arabs go to Israeli hospitals and their lives are saved. But there is not one thank you in the media and Arab. Not one thank you. Because they don't want to credit Israel with anything good, even though they know it. And this is it's a shame. This is a real shame that a culture, they knowingly need your expertise, but they refuse to say thank you. And my brother, unfortunately, years after his life was saved, and I asked him, what do you think about the Jewish people? They saved your life. And he said, they have something very special, but I still have to consider them my enemy. I still have to consider them they saved his life and he still has to consider them. And this brother used to love me and now he has nothing to do with me.